ain't no stranger in that desert.
The founders of the future. This is the way.
We're going with the Mandalorian. Still.
Yeah, why not? It's fun. It's the best one anyway.
Let's be real, we saw Boba for like a minute, not even.
It was classic Boba Fett. You barely see any of them. Everyone wants on the old school Boba Fett.
I mean, I guess we're getting him again. Except he freaking had his helmet off for no reason, but I don't know. I'm still like super giddy from this episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another amazing episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Boba Fett, Season 1, Episode 6, From the Desert Comes a Stranger.
Do, do, do.
And there were no strangers in this episode today. But before we jump in to today's episode, I know everyone wants to know what we have to say, but we do have like a little announcement type thing today. So that's Drew,
yes,
take it away.
Yeah, so we're proud to announce that we are going to be part of Star Wars Podcast Day. Jeremiah, hit it.
Oh, I wasn't ready. Oh no!
Oh, there it is. You know, you always talk about how you're going to use it more. Okay, well. Maybe that's why Andrew didn't use it that much.
Yeah, it always repeats it. I don't know why.
That's what I was trying to tell you last time. Anyways, yes, we are going to be part of Star Wars Podcast Day. There is an Instagram account. I believe it's the Star Wars Podcast Day is the Instagram.
It's Star Wars Pod Day.
Oh, Star Wars Pod Day.
But it comes up as Star Wars Podcast Day as well.
Yes. So go check that out on Instagram. So there's going to be a lot of different podcasts around Star Wars that are part of this day, and it's kind of cool. We're kind of joining a bigger community of podcasting and Star Wars. So and the day is February 7th is the day that they're starting the celebration, and that is the first day that a podcast went live about Star Wars. And let me get the date.
Was it 1999?
Yeah, 1999 was the first Star Wars podcast. And so we're kind of celebrating that. It's going, I believe, it's going on from the 7th to the 13th is all the episodes.
All week to celebrate. So
yes. So next week we're going to do a little bit more celebration because that is the week. So we're excited for it. Like I said, you guys go on Instagram, go check out that page. Also, I believe they're on Facebook as Star Wars Podcast in general. Or
yep. I think this stuff is on the Instagram, but we'll be posting stuff on our Instagram too about it next week too. So
yes.
If you want more I know we're the best Star Wars podcast out there, but
that is fair.
If you want some other views, some other ideas, some other takes on Star Wars, we'll definitely be able to point you in the right direction with that.
That is fair. We're not telling you to jump the ship and go to a different podcast, but if you want even more people, go ahead, we'll let you dabble your toes in other waters.
We'll let you make a choice, like Grogu had to make a choice at the end of
and we all know where your choice is going to be, but unlike this one, we kind of don't know. But yeah,
right.
But yes, so just go over there, show your love, and also go show us love on Instagram if you haven't already, and you will love the content that we're doing over on Instagram and our stories and all that fun stuff. And with that, you'll get more updates about this, and we're excited to be part of the few that are part of Star Wars Podcast Day. So we're excited.
Definitely.
Well,
but let's just jump into this. So we have some background before we get into this episode about how a former member, R.I.P. Andrew Martin,
R.I.P.
was trying to get us hyped up. So here's my story about how Andrew did this. So this morning, before I was busy this morning, I wasn't able to watch until like 1:30 or something like that.
What the heck? That's late.
I had stuff to do.
At that point, you could have just watched it with me.
I had the stuff to do. But I get 2 texts from him this morning, and he says, "Best live action Star Wars we've gotten since Disney took over." Like, okay. And then he said, hashtag give it to Dave. And so then I text him like, shh. I say, shh, I haven't watched it yet.
Shut your mouth.
And this is where I'm kind of upset because his next one was kind of spoiled it for me. I figured it out.
No, for real?
He said, prepare your mind to be blown and your heart to be happy, my friend. Now, what is going to make my heart happy more than anything in Star Wars?
Grogu.
No, Ahsoka.
Okay, mine wasn't that intense. Mine was.
So I guessed.
Did you really?
I assumed that he meant Ahsoka, and so I was expecting Ahsoka to show up. So when she did show up, yes, I still screamed, but I was expecting it. I was spoiled. So Andrew, shame on you.
Yeah,
Don't ever make
Dirty
any
dog.
personal comment about anything happening that I can read. You know how I think. You know I'm analytical, so shame on you.
Yeah,
you ruined Ahsoka
way
for
to
me
say
this episode.
his heart. How rude. But mine was this. Yo, you're going to love it. All caps. and then he wrote shh afterwards. And I was like, bro, come on. And then I was like, are you gonna come on tonight's episode? That was my response to him because I just didn't want it. And then he said, I want to tell you so much. And then it like if you're watching this, it goes on for a long time, and most of it's just him all capping, saying it's the best ever, and I want to tell you so much. I'm watching it for the second time, that kind of stuff. He's just a tease. He's become a tease, like a Force Ghost tease, essentially at this point. Like,
right.
He's like the
And
little
so-
Yoda in the corner, just keeps like teasing us around here. It's
Right.
Like, dude, come
And
on.
so on Instagram, Andrew posted a similar thing where he says, today's episode of Book of Boba Fett is the best live action Star Wars I've seen since the mouse took over. And he says, you can't tell me otherwise. So I respond to his story and I say, hold my spotchka.
Oh, that's what's up.
And then he says, bro, you'll eat those words. But so
Did you eat your words?
I will explain why this is not the best thing since Disney took over for live action, but we'll get into that.
But didn't you say last week was the best thing?
I said it was one of the best things we've gotten in live action, yes. I'm not saying it's not true about this. I'm saying it's not the best.
Oh, okay.
There's other things that I think are better, or at least are in contention for being better. I don't think hands down this is
okay. So
the best. But since I'm already giving my thoughts, we'll start with our overall thoughts. Yes. So yes, this is one of the best things we've had live action. I don't disagree. I absolutely loved every single thing about this episode, but I don't think it's the best thing we've gotten from live action from Disney. I think there's.
What's your favorite thing?
It's hard to say because
if you say The Last Jedi, I'm about to walk out of this room.
Stop. But I don't know. There's stuff from season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian that I think are contenders. I think, and Rogue One is a contender.
Rogue One's really good.
Rogue One's really good. And
movie-wise, one of my favorites.
So I think in our top 5 moments, I think my number 5 was the mall reveal in Solo. So like that was a really high point. I guess that's 1 5-second thing in Star Wars, but I have to expand it to like a bigger work, and so I don't know if I can say this is the best thing just because I think the thing that
you've had
I think when looking at episodes of like finished like standalone works like an episode, I don't think the only reason this isn't top is because it's a bunch of stuff about Luke and Grogu in the Boba Fett show.
Well, okay,
Like, and so my point is, like,
yeah,
it's hard to say it's the best thing when it's taking
away from the show.
away from it's taking 3 or 4 storylines and putting them into one, and they're not all part of like the same. It's all the same story, but it's bits and pieces of multiple storylines meshed together for something great.
Yeah,
But it's not a Book of Boba Fett episode for me.
I think at this point in time, I feel like at this point, it has nothing. It's like one story,
Right.
like. And last week it was like, all right, it was cool, but it had nothing to do with Boba Fett. This one literally almost the same, except they just show up at like Boba go or Mando actually goes there, but it still feels like a Mandalorian show. And I think this is just an extension of that show at this point. And I feel like the Ahsoka show is gonna be kind of like that again. Like
Where it
I
goes
feel
back
like
and forth between things.
yeah, I at this point it seems like we're gonna get like Mando in the Ahsoka show. We're gonna like these shows are just gonna flow all together. Like we always talk about, like this is the Filoni verse. Like this is like a universe. It's kind of like when you're watching the Avengers. Essentially, like this is what this is. Like they're just all teams. Essentially,
Right.
that's what it's kind of feeling like. And right now, I love it. Now, am I gonna want an episode about Boba Fett in the Ahsoka show? Probably not. And I'm a diehard Boba Fett friend. You know what I mean? Like if we get a flash to Tatooine in the middle of a or Ahsoka show when she's like hunting Thrawn, and then all of a sudden we're on Tatooine, I don't think I would like that too much. But right now, I'm okay with it. But
Right. See, like, I think, like, what they could have done is if they told us from the start that they were going to do this Filoni-verse or Mando-verse or this whole, like, all these storylines during the same time, whatever you want to call it. Like, if they said, like, from the start that this is what they were going to do, like, I'd feel more comfortable with them mixing and matching storylines. Because, like, there's, like, other TV shows where, like, you're watching and there's all these different storylines happening, and then towards the end of the season, like, they all come together, kind of like a mini MCU, like, but like it's a TV show for one season where it's only like 10 episodes, and you have all these stories come together where you're watching them simultaneously, and like you're trying to figure out how it comes together. Like if they did that with Star Wars,
yeah, if they were
shows,
all released around the same time and you can jump around episodes, kind of thing. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, no, I'm saying, like, rather than having a show called The Mandalorian or Boba Fett, they call it something else, and
They just call it like
it's all these storylines coming together.
yeah,
Where
like if they
you can
just had an
jump
overall
around.
name, yeah,
You can jump around like
characters,
this, where they're doing Boba Fett, they're doing
yeah,
Luke, they're doing Ahsoka, where they can pick and choose all these stories coming together in a certain way and organize it where they come together.
Yeah, like
But
almost if they just called it like Star Wars 6.5 before 7. You know what I mean? Like that's like this area of time. Like if they just named it something like that, like a time, like for instance, like if they made a High Republic show, we know that's not about one character. It's about the High Republic. It could be about like we can jump around. At some point, we could even get a story arc about Yoda, you know, like something like that. If they had a title of this, is that what you're trying to say? Like, if it wasn't just Mandalorian, it was like a title of this era of time.
well, okay, so here's the only example I have. So I've only seen the first season, but The Witcher season 1, where there's if I remember, 3 storylines
In one show.
and you don't know how they work together or how they come together, but towards the end of this first season, they all come together and it makes sense.
Gotcha.
Where it's 3 different stories that come together for one story. Now it's still The Witcher. He's still the main idea.
Gotcha.
But like, I wish they would have done that with these shows where it was more. We see from the start of the season an intermingling of multiple stories rather than just being promised the book of Boba Fett, and then at the end it's all these other storylines coming in randomly. Now it's not random. It makes sense what they're doing, but it's just I wish it was marketed a little differently.
That's fair. I understand that. Like literally, it's like Boba who at this point. like these last 2 episodes have been so intense and so impactful for the Mandalorian show that like you're literally forgetting what's going on in the Boba Fett show, and I feel like that's kind of a fail. Not maybe a fail, maybe that's too aggressive, but like you know what I mean. Like I understand. Like it seems like it doesn't really flow as well, and maybe like in 5 years when all these shows are already out, we can watch it all and binge it the whole thing, and it's gonna flow really well. But like right now, it's kind of feels like it's out of place. But with that being said, though, I love it. I don't.
Right.
It's so weird. Like it's
Like,
not about Boba, but
I don't have a
still
problem with what we got today. I just have a problem with how
it's
they're marketed and how it doesn't make sense with the show title.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's still amazing.
that.
Like 10 out of 10 for this. Like
if it's like, just this episode,
this is definitely the 10 frogs that he pulled out of the water out of 10 frogs. Like,
yeah. So my overall thoughts, I went into this like after Andrew blew me up, and I like sat down and I was talking in the chat before I went live for the YouTube part, and I was like, I like feel before I started this episode, like I felt weird, like there was too much hype around this already, and it's dude, I feel like Andrew's just messing with me, but like I was just like I need to buckle in. Like work was kind of crazy today, and it was just all over the place, and I just like I didn't feel like I was like in it. And then I was just like, all right, I need to reset, get into the mode of this show, and then I got into it, and then holy crap, that's all I can say. Like one, at this point, if they mention anything, we're gonna get it the next episode. Like how I was like, are we gonna get Grogu? And you're like, no, we're gonna get up. I was like, throughout the week, I was like, dude, but last time they said they hinted Mando and we got him. So I'm like, we're gonna get Grogu. Like this whole week, I was thinking we're gonna see Grogu. And then in that trailer, like breakdown in the beginning, like you knew that we're gonna see Grogu. Like they kept saying it pretty much. And so like we got him. We got freaking Luke, and the deepfake was really good this time. I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought it was really, really good. And it could be my monitor is not the best, but I thought it looked really good. And then I like literally as I was watching it, I was like, dude, if we get Ahsoka, I'm done. Like I literally said that to the chat. And a minute later we got Ahsoka, and I jumped out of my chair. I was so freaking out, and that was it. And then I was like, is that it? And the chat's like, oh, you don't even know. And I was like, okay, stop, chat. Like the whole time the chat's like blowing up, like just wait, there's more. And I was like, okay. And then we got Combat, and I was like, is that the more? Like cool. I'm like indifferent about his character. I don't know, he's cool, but he's not like my favorite. I was like, oh sweet. And they're like, that's not it. I was like, okay, stop, I'm not gonna read the chat anymore. And then after Mando left that thing and he looked over, or he saw the windmill and he looked over in the distance, I instantly knew it was Cat Bane. I knew instantly. Like I was like, no way we got freaking Cad Bane in this show. And I called it earlier. I'm like, dude, what if we get Cad Bane in the show and his interaction with Boba will be so good? Because if you guys don't know, allegedly, I mean, maybe it's canon at this point.
It's not officially canon.
Okay, so it's not officially canon, but it's Dave Filoni, so
we'll get it eventually.
I think we might get in literally next week, because I think we're gonna see an interaction with those two. But either way, it's not canon. But if you guys don't know, that dent in Boba Fett's helmet is Cad Bane did that dent, alleged.
Right.
Like
It was supposed to be in the Clone Wars, before Disney bought and canceled the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
it was.
So that was like
so you can actually look it up on YouTube. There's like, I guess it's considered what the previs kind of, or it's just kind of like,
it's like glitchy looking.
It's very
black and white.
It's very just blocky and very not detailed, but you can see that.
Yeah.
So
I think
if we get that, it's going to be a flashback. But we'll talk about that.
Well, I don't know if we're
later.
gonna get that scene, but I think he might just mention it. Like I gave you a dent or something, like something cool like that, or just.
Well,
But
we'll get to that.
yeah.
We got a lot to go to, but so we should
Anyways,
probably.
I loved it. I thought it was. I agree with Andrew at this moment. I think next week's gonna even be better, but at this point, I think this might be the best Star Wars content I've ever seen.
This episode.
Really? And I think it's because of all the fills I got. Like there were so many. Like last week was so intense for me, and I loved it. This week made that last week look like garbage in my eyes. Like I kept freaking out so much, and like I got literally my favorite characters all in one area again, and like Cad Bane is like one of my favorites. I grown to love him so much, and to get him live action, and boy did they do so good on him. Like he was the scariest thing in the world to me, and so like I just loved it. I loved the soak. It was it. I'm like in awe, and it could be just because I just watched it and I'm like shocked and I haven't like processed it fully. But right now, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to break it down.
All right. So it opens up, scene 1, with some Pikes making a deal in the desert, trading a box for some gold coins.
Money.
So I'm assuming they're New Republic credits. I don't know.
Yeah.
What the cash or what the
value is.
I don't know what kind of money, if it was just New Republic credits or not, but there's definitely some monetary compensation. And while they're doing this, you see someone step into the scene, and you just see their hip. So I immediately knew it was Cobb Vanth. Like, who else would it be? So yeah. I was excited to see him from Mandalorian season 2, and so that was great seeing him. And so he confronts them and is very stern. Is like, what you're doing here is not good. I don't want you here. We'll just part ways. Just get out of my territory, and we'll just call it even, basically. And the Pikes were not about that. So 3 of them try to shoot him, and then Cobb just quick shots kills them, and then the 4th person is like, don't kill me. And so he's like, take your money and then leave the box. So now so the first time I watched, because I watched this twice, first time I didn't realize they said at the beginning that it was spice.
Yeah.
So like when he was like walking up to it to like open it, I was like, what's in there? Like I didn't know.
Oh really? Yeah, they said it.
I figured it was probably spice, but I was like, he wants to go investigate. Like, okay, so what's in it? I was like, oh crap, is this like a box full of like lightsabers, or I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know what to expect.
Mandalorian, that would have been cool.
More Beskar or something, but he just kicked it open and it was just spice. But
well, I was like, also he did say like that's worth more than your life.
Worth more than the town of Mos Pelgo.
Or yeah, more than the town, yeah.
And but it's a little rinky-dink town, like.
That's fair.
I'm sure a bottle of Spotchka was a little bit more expensive than that town.
Chill. I mean, one piece of Beskar was definitely more than town, but chill.
Right.
I know they have that crate dragon belly inside of the bar. So
is that new?
Yeah, that was added after the.
Because I noticed that, but I was like, I don't know. I guess
that was part of the inside that they put in after, which I
definitely noticed it, but I just didn't remember if they already had that. Like they just collected.
They added that from that crate dragon they killed. Also, awesome. I mean, we see the head of it too again.
Well, we'll get to that.
Kind of funny.
But right after this scene, it jumps to Mando. I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Like I was wrong. And so he goes to a lush green planet, very mountainous and hilly. And while he's coming in, we see R2D2.
Dude, what? I freaked out. As soon as I saw the antenna, I was like, it's R2? Like, were you freaking out when you saw the antenna?
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember all my reactions, but because I was getting so hyped because what Andrew said, I saw people on Facebook already posting about, and like, remember Jamie Coker, the artist?
Mm-hmm.
He posted on Facebook how amazing it was. Like, okay, all these people are getting hyped.
Yeah.
So I set up my camera and I recorded myself watching
did?
this whole thing. So I might cut some scenes out of my
Dude,
reactions to certain scenes.
You gotta cut
But
some of mine out too, and then just slice them together at the same time. That would be
slice
kind
them
of
together.
funny. They're like both of us going off at the same time. That'd be cool.
You could. Maybe you gotta send me the
I can send you the video.
sending me the video. But so I can't remember exactly. I know I had a reaction,
Mm-hmm.
but so Mando, he lands. So well, one, he had on his radar like something pinging.
Yeah.
And it's like, what exactly was that? And like, I want to know how he knew where Grogu was.
Dude,
Because like,
do you think it's the tracker?
I don't know. Because I don't think he has that tracker anymore.
Well, he never got. Well, maybe he doesn't remember he found one. Because like he's.
Well, you can't
Grogu's-
just buy a tracker and then say put in Grogu and it finds him. Like, that's not how it.
Do we know how this works?
We
though?
don't know how
We
the
still
trackers
hunt,
work.
Like
They're never gonna. It's gonna be like the name of Yoda's species. Like, we're never gonna get how these trackers
Dude.
work. But
at one point, I almost thought we were going to get it, but we'll talk about that a little bit.
so I don't know what the tracker on his radar
I'm guessing
was.
it might be the bounty tracker. But
Yeah, but then he would have been led right to where he was, but Grogu wasn't there.
yeah, I don't know. Or maybe
So
he
I don't know if it was
he tracked R2 because it also seemed like R2 was flagging him down by this
like a beacon, like landing beacon type thing.
Yeah,
because he
that's
had
what it
his
seemed
little
like.
radar. He had his little antennas
yeah,
where that's him sending out
a beacon.
So we'll get into that because I heard a theory on what R2 was doing in him, and we'll get there.
Oh,
But so he lands. He's like, I'm looking for Skywalker. Now the question is, I can't remember, but in the finale season 2 of Mando, did he say his name was Luke Skywalker?
Yep, he did when he opened the door.
He says, I'm Luke Skywalker. Okay, because I was like, how did he know his name?
Yeah, so yeah, he said it as soon as he opened the door. He said, I'm Luke Skywalker.
Okay. So he's like, I'm looking for Skywalker.
I've come to rescue you. That's what he says.
So I'm looking for Skywalker, and so R2 seems like a little hesitant, but he brings him. So they're going through the woods.
You see a rock floating.
We saw a rock float. Well, they make us think we see a rock
Yeah, I was
floating.
like, oh.
And then it's like this ant droid, this giant ant droid that's carrying this rock. I'm like, okay, that's weird, whatever. And then they go to an open field, and there's
like a million
20 of these ant droids just bringing these rocks and building a temple. So is this temple the one that we see in episode 8 that Kylo destroys?
Maybe.
Is that the same one?
Chat, help us out. I think that's what they're trying to imply. I haven't seen it. I mean, it's episode 8. So.
Come on, you gotta stop being a hater, dude.
No, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay, you've seen it like once in the theater.
No, I saw it 5 times in theater.
5 times in the theater you saw it?
Yeah, I tried, dude. I tried. I believe it is the chat. I tried to like it. You guys don't understand. I literally tried. At one point, I had a poster of Last Jedi on my wall.
I know. Too. I remember that from your old school studio. Then didn't you throw it away when?
No, I still have it. I just didn't put it back up.
But
if anyone wants it, I'll autograph.
I just wish that you would appreciate the good things that me and Andrew have tried to convince you of, and you still don't appreciate anything.
I tried, but the chat's saying I believe it is. I mean, I can go pull it up and.
Well, we don't need to pull it up, but I'm just gonna say it's the same one just for whatever.
I think it is.
But
what planet is that? We have no idea, huh?
I'm sure there's a planet name for that by now.
Chat also help us out.
But yes, so he's there watching, and Trent's like, "Well, where is everyone? Is anyone alive out there?" It was like in Titanic when they're searching for bodies, like, anybody alive out there? He's like screaming, yelling out there, but like these ants are just building this hut out of rocks, and then R2 turns off. I was like, oh, like he knows. So R2 knows not to communicate with Mando, and he turns off. And so then when he does this, the ant droids build him a bench, which is so funny.
That's so funny.
Because
it's like, wait, is that a bench? How long am I gonna be here?
Because before R2 turns off, he talks to one of the ants, and so I think R2 told the ant to build a bench for him to wait on. Now, I guess we can just jump into this theory that I heard, but R2 probably knew how to recognize Mando. So I'm thinking he could scan his ship while he was coming in. Maybe I don't know if they can do like a DNA scan, because you can scan ships and like, oh, there's life forms on the ship.
Yeah.
So I don't know if R2 is able to.
Well, if he can
recognize
scan ships,
Mando,
I wonder if he can scan Beskar.
But the theory is that if the Mandalorian comes, R2 is supposed to signal Ahsoka to come.
So
because she's the buffer that could talk down Mando in the situation before he screws up, like, because Ahsoka's like, if you let him see you, it's going to make it this much harder for Grogu. So she came in as like a buffer, as a trusted someone he already trusts, to talk him down.
So you think I like that. I can get behind that. So you think when he was actually doing the radars, the scanning thing, that he was actually scanning to have Ahsoka show up? Because it also seemed like Ahsoka didn't actually talk to Luke before that situation.
Yeah, he did. Yes, she did. They had a whole conversation about, because when Ahsoka and Luke talked, Luke was like, "Oh, who are you?" Like, no, they already knew.
No. But it seemed like she just showed up. Like, he didn't see her before then. That's what I'm trying to say.
Before what?
Like, she didn't. Luke did not see Ahsoka. Like, it almost seemed like he didn't know that Ahsoka was on the planet. Like, he knew who she is and everything, but it just seemed like she just showed up. Or do you think she was sitting there the whole time?
Oh, she was on the planet the whole time.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to imply that she flew to meet him. Also, how is she getting around?
She's a ship.
Yo, I want to see it. That's what I'm.
What? It's just, no, she has that
From the book?
No, the one from Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
That big, it's a Mandalorian ship, isn't it?
Yep, I think so, yep. Mm-hmm.
And so she has that ship. But
yeah, that's an interesting.
But I think we'll talk more about her later, but I think she was already on the planet, or she was at least close by to the planet, already interacting with Luke. And so R2-D2 signaled her to come. And that's why R2 stopped him. Was like, wait here.
Yeah.
Until someone comes. But it was just him kind of stopping him so that Ahsoka can come and stop him. But yes, so he sits down and he waits. And then it jumps to Grogu sitting on a log, trying to meditate. And we know that Luke is there because we kind of see like a silhouette, like from a distance, and then it goes into him. But he can't concentrate because a frog is jumping around.
He got hungry.
And he's like trying to meditate, and he opens up one eye, and then when it tries to jump into the water, he catches it. And when he's about to eat it, Luke opens his eyes and stops him. But and then Luke uses his force ability to lift all of the frogs out of the water, which I think it was. I think it was more of like,
this is what you could do.
This is what you could do. Like, you can learn to be as powerful as me, to where you can lift. Because in order to lift the frogs, you have to sense them.
Mm-hmm.
So like Grogu didn't sense that there are all these frogs. That he could only see the one that was moving in front of him.
Yeah, he just saw the one, and then he
And
just decided to pick up.
so not only could you be strong enough to lift all the frogs, you could be able to sense where food is in a sense without seeing it. You can just sense it. And so
Did you like the deep fake of Luke this time?
well, it was very well done. It was
Like way better than Mando.
well, yeah. This is clearly a completely different thing that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very. It's the best deep fake probably ever made.
Yeah.
So the Disney did hire the guy from YouTube that is the best one on YouTube. Like Disney gave him a job. So
Yep.
this guy from YouTube, an amateur, was hired by Disney and is probably the main lead on making this deep fake of Luke possible, which is crazy to me. But
yeah.
I
So
forget-
we should have assumed we were gonna see Luke in the show because we saw the actor.
okay,
We should have just assumed.
no, that's just a lame assumption.
Well, I
I
don't
don't-
know. Is it
I
though?
don't do-
Because I
They
literally
recycle
said
people all the time. Like
true, but I literally was like, "What if we get Luke?" And you're like, "No."
well, everyone's saying it, but like we don't even know if it was the same guy this time.
You just said they recycle people. Of course it is.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like
The only other person we wanted to be Luke, we
well,
didn't want to be.
okay,
his
so
Luke
then
voice.
we saw in season 1 of Mandalorian the voice actor for Anakin from the Clone Wars, Matt Lanner. Does that mean we're gonna eventually get live action
Annie.
Annie in a flashback voiced by Matt Lanner? Like
No, that's different. That's a little different. Because that's different. But either way, that's amazing.
I don't know, but now the deepfake wasn't perfect because there was when you look at deepfakes, like when a face turns, it gets
Yeah.
blurry,
Yep.
and it got like slightly blurry in a few scenes, and
True.
then
No, there's definitely some parts that like if I watch it again, it's not gonna be as good. But like the first glance, like I thought it was like the best version that a deepfake we've got. So
right, and then someone also mentioned that there are multiple times when Luke talks where it cuts away, so you don't see his face moving because when he is talking, sometimes because the lips are the hardest thing to do in face reconstruction and in deep fakes. So like they knew when to cut away so it didn't look fake, but I feel like this is a sign that we're not going to get Sebastian Stan as live action Luke.
nope, I think they figured it out that they're just gonna do it this way.
Which I'm kind of
Yeah,
disappointed.
I can get behind that disappointment because it
Like-
is kind of nice to not worry about like because you are gonna like psychoanalyze the deepfake every time you see Luke.
and I understand now it's going to get better and better and better, the technology to do deep faking, but it's like I don't know. It would have been nice if Sebastian Stan was the new Luke Skywalker for decades to come.
Yeah, like someone said in the chat when he's running and he's doing that training scene, like he at one point you can tell that it's actually the actor. You don't even
Right.
see.
Yeah,
the
I noticed
deepfake.
that too. It's like they did not put the deep fake when that guy was running.
Yeah, so it's like there's gonna be those kind of moments, which at this point though they're too deep in a sense. Like you can't
Yeah.
really change it now, and like it sounds like it was Mark Hamill, and I'm pretty sure most likely was him again. So
Well, he was in the credits.
So there you go. So
But it was the voice thing where they
they
recreated his voice
yeah.
from old footage and stuff. So it wasn't him actually
Yeah.
reading new lines, but yes, so it's definitely something to be excited for and be amazed by. And it was just crazy seeing this Luke. Like I didn't think we were gonna get this Luke like this. I kind of thought that Luke was gonna be more of like a mysterious figure moving forward, like that we weren't gonna see a lot. And if we got like an animated show, we'd see it. But like
No.
live action,
I think at this point, Luke's here to stay.
Yep. I think that in this Mando Filoni-verse, whatever you want to call it, I think Luke's going to be a primary, or maybe not primary character, but he's going to be a lot more common than showing up than we thought he was going to be doing. So,
yeah.
But yes. So after the frog scene, Luke is like, all right, let's go for a walk and talk type of thing. And so they get you because you see Grogu like land.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Grogu jumped.
Yeah.
But he didn't jump.
That's literally what.
Because you notice what happened, right?
Yeah, Luke was floating him around.
Yeah, because he couldn't walk fast.
He couldn't keep up, so then Luke would drag him along essentially by the force and like pick him up.
Pick him up.
But at first, I was like, "Oh, dang, Grogu got moves! Like he's catching up." And then all of a sudden, nope, Luke's just carrying him.
Which
like,
I think is, I think it's
kind of funny.
It's a great way to. I think it was very smart. They could have just already had him jumping. And we wouldn't have mattered. Like, okay, he's been with Luke, he's been training, like it makes sense. But like doing this, I think was a good detail. And so he starts talking about Yoda being his former master in a sense.
Was so cool.
And
which I could kind of see why this is Andrew's favorite thing, since like it almost felt like he was with Yoda again, like the lines and stuff he said that Yoda said, and like it was very like episode 6 vibes at some point. In the music, it was like Yoda's music, so I understand where Andrew's coming from. Like this definitely probably hit the chills for him a little bit.
So. Well, since you mentioned music, like I've noticed, like the music from Mando
episode 8,
it's the same music, just kind of redone. So like I wonder if these themes are going to be like Luke's themes now.
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Because like I'm trying to think, like, did Luke have his own theme like in the original movies? Like, is there?
It's probably just the Jedi theme, right?
The Force theme, like maybe, but like, because like Yoda has his theme and these other characters have their themes, but like I don't think Luke had his own. But so now this could be now Luke's official
I love
theme
it,
in a sense. So like,
it's so good.
So now we know, like, in future shows, if we start hearing a certain music, like, oh crap, is that Luke showing up? Is Luke showing up? And then he's gonna show up because of the music. So I think I hope that's what they're doing with the theme. Like, it's kind of it's not my favorite character theme. Like, it's different. It's like it's a weird kind of theme, but like it's something that I think they could definitely do on a regular basis, and we'll get pulled into that. But I forget exactly what Luke asks Grogu, but he asks him about like where he came from. Like, is this what happened where you came from, or something like that? But like Grogu can't remember. He's like, oh,
he was saying like, because the way he said that Yoda talked in riddles, and he said he was asking him like, do you remember people where you came from speaking like this?
Right. And Grogu can't respond. He's like, you can't remember. You want me to help you? And I think this is. I have to go look back at the footage from when I recorded myself, but I was about to like start crying because we were gonna get a flashback of Order 66, and I was.
So did you assume we're gonna get a flashback of Order 66?
Yeah, like when he says, "Do you want to help me?" Because
I thought we were gonna get a flashback of him being a baby on his planet, and I thought we were about to get
no, because
like so much news.
because when Ahsoka talks with Grogu and Mando, she says something like he has all of his memories up until the point of Order 66.
Yeah.
And so like those memories are there. And so like when he says, "Do you want me to restore your memories?" it's where it went black, like Ahsoka says. So I immediately was like, this is going to be Order 66. Like, we're going to see some crap go
Dude,
down.
a lot of people in the chat said that at that moment they were crying. Like a lot of
I
like
like
Daddy
I've
Palps. I think Will said he cried. Like this was like a very intense. And if anyone else did, and I didn't mention your name, I apologize. But yeah, people were saying that they were this hit them in the feels, and it was pretty amazing for me too. I didn't cry, but I was like, this is crazy. But I also stupidly thought we were gonna get a name for where they came from, like all this stuff that we don't even know. But yeah, just because of the way they talk. But I understand now, like it makes sense. Like this is where he lost his memory, or he blocked it out of his mind, essentially.
right. So I was about to like my eyes were starting to tear up a little bit before anything happened, and I was just oh no, I was just getting ready for the feels, and then we see him watching 3 Jedi try to fight off the 501st in Order 66 in Temple. I'm like, this is insane. Like I was like, I wanted so much more than what we got, but I'm happy with what we got. Like,
Dude, what if we would have saw?
I thought Anakin was gonna show up.
What if we would have saw? He would have
I
been in the room with the
dude,
younglings, and Anakin just went ham on the younglings. Like that would have been so stupid.
no, I didn't think we could get that, but I
I know,
thought
but
the Jedi were gonna be able to hold off
and then Anakin would
the
have showed his
troopers,
face.
and I thought Anakin was gonna show up and
Oh,
take down those 3 Jedi,
dude, that would have been amazing.
and like
That would have been crazy.
I thought we were gonna see who saved Grogu from the temple.
Yeah, I don't think we're done with this.
No, we're gonna get more, but like, well, we might not get more. It all depends on what Grogu chooses at the end.
We all know what he's choosing.
No, we don't know.
Okay. I am gonna go with my gut feeling because for now on, I've been right the last 3 episodes, and I'm just gonna go with my gut feeling, and I'll tell you my prediction after.
Okay,
when we
but
get closer to that.
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get more, but I still like the Mace Windu theory out there that
Mace Windu saved them.
he goes to the temple, saves them, or dies fighting Anakin, saving him. So like I like that where it's bringing him back from the dead in a sense, but he still dies at the same time span. So it doesn't like contradict too bad or spoil too bad, but
because I just paused it at the part after they killed the Jedi. They pointed at like near Grogu, and it says go go go, hurry hurry, move move it. So it's like someone. It's not that they're saying all that to get Grogu, like someone grabbed Grogu at this moment in time.
well, I think they're just closing. That was just them closing in the attack. I don't think they saw anyone.
I think they saw someone grab Grogu.
No, because it shuts off with Grogu just looking, so you don't see Grogu move like he got grabbed.
No, I know.
He's still stationary, so like I don't think.
You think he just laid on the ground? They walked over him, or what?
No, I think they went to go. They're going up to him to shoot him, and that's when it goes black. And so we literally missed whoever saved him by seconds.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see it in his eyes, but I don't see.
You see reflection? It's a Samuel L. Jackson reflection in his eyes.
Blue or purple lightsaber.
Oh, that'd be so funny if like you could see like a reflection in his eyes of someone coming in, and that's like all this theory videos, everybody zooming in, like trying to enhance, like it's like CSI, like when they're like enhancing videos that like can't be enhanced, but they still do it by click of a button. But yes, like I couldn't believe this flashback. Like we could just have an entire like series just called Order 66, and we just see all these Order 66 events, like have like 5 episodes of just the temple itself on Coruscant, like from different perspectives. Like,
dude,
every episode ends with the person that they're following being killed by Anakin. Like, I would love that.
Dude, honestly, that would be a cool comic book.
I don't want
series.
a comic. No,
No.
I want live action.
I
I
know
want
you
to
do,
see
or
it.
just a book. I would read that book.
I don't want a book. I want to see it. I want to see Hayden Christensen slaughtering Jedi. That's what I want to see. We don't even have to see him kill the younglings. Like I don't even need that. I already have that played out in my head. I already got it. I'm good. I just want to see everything else. But anyway,
Yeah.
he wakes up, or Grogu wakes up, and they're in a different location. So it's like he was out for a while.
Like almost how long he was probably out when he was on the rock.
Right. Like who knows like how long it was, but so after this, it goes back to Mando sleeping on the bench, and R2D2 wakes up, and so the first time I was watching it, he turns on and makes a sound, and that's when Mando pulls his gun. So I thought he was reacting to R2D2 moving, but when I watched it again, you hear a stick crack, like a footstep, and that's what he's reacting to. But the fact that R2D2 wakes up when Ahsoka arrives, I think that points to that he called Ahsoka in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's more evidence to that. But yes, so Mando draws his gun, and it's Ahsoka. And it's like, because like, so yes, I was expecting Ahsoka to show up, but because I didn't hear the stick crack, I didn't expect it in that moment.
Yeah.
So I was super surprised, and I yelled out loud and screamed and stuff like that because I did not, like, I was expecting it because, Andrew Martin, he spoiled it for me indirectly. But I was still super excited. I didn't expect this at all, like, that we were going to get Ahsoka in this show. So,
yeah, I was freaking out. I literally stood up. Like, I was going nuts. Because I called it kind of, I'm like, what if we get Ahsoka? I was like, if we do, I'm going to lose it. And I lost it. Because that was, like, just crazy to me that, like, why? Like, we didn't need her. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
but it was, like, the biggest treat of all time. Like,
right. Well, I think it's going to feed into
her show more. Or,
her
like,
show more.
Almost keep her relevant, too. So, like the casual fans don't forget about this character, I guess.
There's that too, probably. That's probably another reason why they did it. I think it gives more evidence to what the Ahsoka series will be, which we'll get into later. We can talk about Ahsoka more, but yes. So Mando is like, I want to see Grogu. Like, is he okay? She's like, he's fine. So she knows Grogu's here. She's interacted with Grogu on this planet because she knows he's fine.
Yeah.
So she's been on this planet enough to know Grogu's well-being.
I just now realized this, like just now, that she interacted with R2.
Yeah, she knew because Anakin's droid.
No, but like, yes, I know that, but like in that moment, I didn't even like think of how big of a moment that was actually to see her like rub R2. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
there's that, but like she says, Mando's like, "Why are you here?" And she's like, "I'm a friend of the family." Now, like, I understood what she was saying, but like, I didn't realize what she said until later on in the episode when she mentions Anakin, like you're just like your father. I was
when
like,
she said that, I almost cried. I
so
almost
like,
lost it.
so like, I didn't even at that scene when we first see her, like, I didn't even register that. Yes, I go, okay, she interacted with Luke, okay, but it didn't even click that she would have told Luke about Anakin, that she knew that Luke was Anakin's kid. Like, I didn't even make that connection, like, even like,
yeah. So
until later on. And so, like, I think, when we get to the Ahsoka series, it's gonna be jumping around because we're gonna see them meet, like Luke and Ahsoka meet, like how that played out. And like we've talked about before on the show, like how Luke's gonna tell Ahsoka about how Anakin turned back to the light. So like we're gonna see that interaction at some point, and this is just confirming that. And so now the question is, when did that happen? Did she meet Luke before or after she met Grogu? And so I want to say it was after she met Grogu. So in these, I'm assuming between when the season 2 finale and this book of Boba Fett series, like I think it's probably months.
Yeah.
And so
could be even like a year, honestly.
No, I don't think it's that long. Because Boba Fett's not gonna it's not gonna take a year for all this stuff to go down. Like
that's fair.
I think it's just
it's been a little bit though, for
2 or 3 months at most, I think. But so sometime in that 2 or 3 months, Ahsoka met Luke, and I want to know that story. But Ahsoka's talking to Mando, and she's like, we've already talked about that your attachment is not good. Like,
I wonder, because when I first saw it, I was so freaking out. I didn't even see that Ahsoka rubbed R2. And I think that is a big moment because we haven't seen them interact with each other since the Clone Wars. So I think I'm kind of mad I missed that because I'm rewatching it as we're going over it right now, and I saw that she did that. I'm like, oh shoot, that's a big thing. That's actually a big deal. That's so cool. Right. And in that moment when she does talk to Luke, I was like, Chad, do you think she knows who Luke's dad is? Did she put that together? And then she mentions it shortly after, and I was like, oh, well, of course she does. And now it's like, oh yeah, duh, that's R2. She knows R2 better than Luke knows R2. What?
So Mando is explaining that he has a gift, and that he still considers Grogu a Mandalorian foundling.
And also, with your theory, it makes sense because she literally said, "That's why R2 brought you to me instead."
Right.
She says that line, so yeah, it makes sense. R2 flagged her down.
Right. And then he's like, I have this for him, and because he's a foundling, he has a right to this. So he still considers Grogu a Mandalorian, not a Jedi. And he's trying to say, he has a right to this Beskar. And so, and they have this interesting thing where he's like, well, you said you didn't want to train him, but why is Luke? And he's like, well, that's his choice. And he's like, well, then it's my choice to see him. And she's like, you're right.
And they talk about the temple, or it's going to be a school.
Right. And then
Grogu's going to be the first student.
So she's like, all right, it's your choice. It's up to you. And she stops and looks up. And then you see Luke and Grogu on top of the hill. And as he's going to go up to him, she's like, are you doing this for Grogu or for yourself? And he's just that's when he says, he has a right to this, blah, blah, blah. So it's she did call him out. You're not doing this for Grogu's benefit. You're doing it because you want to. And then when she says, Grogu, if he sees you, it's going to make it hard for him. And that's when he says, just give him this for me. And then make sure she's safe.
She pretty much said, I can deliver it for you if it's not for you. If that's just all you want. And then she said that Grogu misses him a great deal. And yeah, I think you realized that it was kind of a sad moment too. You wanted him to go do it, but then you also understand that Grogu does have a huge attachment.
Right.
They both have a huge attachment to each other. And that's what Ahsoka was alluding to, why she didn't want to train him.
Right. But I don't know. I think the whole attachment thing is something that the Disney or Lucasfilm should revisit. Is that really a problem? Because some people say that it's because of Luke's attachments that he was able to save Anakin.
Yeah, and because of his attachments.
But then Luke here at the end of the episode It's like, because of your attachments, that's a liability, and you can't do that as a Jedi. So it's like, I don't know.
And I think, but another suggestion is that because of his attachments, is why like Cairo kind of turned too, and why he, you know what I mean? Like it kind of messed up Cairo's thing too. So
How so?
because like he was so attached to him that he could see like what potentially could happen with him, and he kind of just went with it and assumed that was going to happen.
I don't know. I think he's just afraid of the dark side.
Exactly, but
I don't think he would
you
have
don't
done
think
that
if it,
with his attachments. I think.
but I think if it was a different student, he probably would have just like actually gone away with it. I feel like he had a little bit of hesitation in that moment because of his attachment.
No,
No.
because he says the thought of striking him down in that moment was just a 1 second instant that he regretted. But it was right in that instant is when Kylo woke up.
Yeah.
So like I don't think, I think it's,
It is weird because Luke has an attachment to Leia and Han.
yeah.
Like he misses them a
And
great deal, and he starts training Leia at some point. Now, is this before he started training or after? Do we know that timeline?
I don't know, because so Kylo, or we should say Ben Kenobi, or
Ben Solo.
Ben Solo
Chill.
was, I think he was born a year after Episode 6. So
he's already born.
So 5 years is when season 1 Mando starts. So it's probably been at least a year for this. So it's like 6 years after Episode 6. So he's probably 5 years old now. So for whatever reason, he's not in training with Luke yet.
Yeah.
So, well, he might not even know this because Leia and Han have him, and Luke's maybe not in contact with him on a regular basis. And so,
yeah.
But yes, so Kylo, he's a little kid right now.
Mm-hmm. He's out there.
He's out there. But I don't know. But yes, so let's see. Mando agrees to have Ahsoka give the gift of the armor to Luke / Grogu. And so Grogu sees Mando's ship fly away, and he's kind of reaching out. So he did sense his presence.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he didn't recognize the ship, but he knew that it was him.
Right. And so right after this is when Luke is training Grogu on how to jump, force jump, which so
I need that.
I should say the jump, and then he does training like running through the woods with like he did with Yoda, and then he's trains him how to balance on one foot over water. Like I was hoping he was gonna fall into the water, and then Luke was just gonna pull him out with the Force, which would have been funny. But it would have been funny if he fell in the water, and when Luke pulled him out, he had a frog in his mouth.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been dope.
And so then Grogu is balancing on whatever in the woods, and then Luke is flailing his saber around, which I don't really understand, like why he was just swinging his saber around while Grogu was standing there on a tree trunk or whatever.
To flex?
I think he was flexing, but
that's literally what I said. I was like, he's just flexing right now? Like, because it would make sense if like Grogu grabbed his lightsaber or something, and then they started like the dueling or something. But
unless it was like,
it was just like literally like, guess what I got? I want to use this. I haven't used this in a little bit since I saved your life. Like, like I don't.
Unless it was because he was balancing on one foot on like a tree branch or something. Like, I think it was like bamboo. So it was like cut piece of bamboo. Staying on the bamboo, I think maybe it was to have a distraction in hopes to train him to like not allow distractions to keep you from using the force. Maybe like you need a balance, and I'm gonna distract you, but if you get distracted, you're not gonna be able to keep your balance, type of thing.
Yeah, my favorite part about this when he's like running and like doing parkour and stuff in the woods, like I love when he got to the top of that little thin piece of bamboo to show Grogu the whole planet from a different angle or whatever. Grogu's like not phased by that whole thing. Like he just says like, oh, I'm just chilling in this backpack. Like it's cool that you ran around with me on my like that didn't teach me anything. Like you're just flexing.
I don't know. Well, Luke did say something like about balance, and then he closes his eyes and is like
Yeah,
breathing, and I think Grogu was closing his eyes and breathing too.
no, he was at the top. I'm just saying once they got up there, like real quick, Grogu was like just chilling. Like it looked like he was just like, cool, that was fun. Like, and then he was talking about like breathing and stuff like that. I just thought it was kind of funny.
And then
He's balancing, and then he brings out the toy,
the training ball.
yeah.
And it's like, show me how to about jumping again, and so that training ball shot him, and he went flying. Like I didn't
Like brush it off.
I was
like,
like,
what the heck?
get up, always get up. So that was him teaching him that even when you fall, get up. And so, and then that's when Grogu's like, oh crap, I don't want to get shot anymore. And he learns how to jump again. And so, and then he's doing like all these things where he's jumping on these rocks and
literally looking like
water and
Yoda.
stuff. So he was able to like, so Luke says, I don't think I'm training him. I think he's just remembering what he was previously taught. So that goes back to him like unlocking, healing his memories. Like he's remembering backwards to his previous training. And so while this happens, this is when Ahsoka walks up again. And so Luke is like, I don't think his heart is in it. And Ahsoka's like, you're just like your father. Like, and that's when it clicked. Like, oh crap. Yeah, she probably talked to him about Anakin. Like they know they've had a whole conversation about the story of Anakin. So like that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, why did I not realize this before? But I was like, I wrote in my notes. She knows.
Yeah,
so,
I that part was so cool to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like all this backstory and oh, it's so good, dude.
Yeah, so I think in the Ahsoka series we'll get flashbacks, like to it's gonna be going all over. I think we're gonna see stuff like when she was Fulcrum. I think from when she's doing
Training
stuff
with Anakin?
during with. I don't know if we'll go that far back, but I think we'll see her as Fulcrum. I think we'll see her during what she's doing during the original trilogy. Then we'll see her find Luke, and then all the stuff with Thrawn is what her show is probably going to be all about. Is Thrawn,
Yeah, because she found about Thrawn and she's over here hanging out with Luke and Grogu. Like, that's kind of interesting that she's here. Like, it is kind of weird that she is here, but wow.
Well,
take it.
Unless at this point she already
what
found
if
Thrawn.
Dude, you know what'd be crazy if what if Ezra would have came out of the bush next?
That would be even crazier.
I would have lost all.
It would have been
everything. It would have game over.
It would have been the guy from Aladdin.
Yep,
because he's rumored to be Ezra. Yeah. But at this point, she might have already found Thrawn and Ezra.
True.
Well, so like the whole entire Ahsoka series could be
done already.
It would have been done before Boba Fett. So like at this point in Boba Fett series. So like I don't know, because she seemed like she was at peace about like she wasn't on any mission. So like
yeah, she didn't seem rushed at all, or like. But she does leave though. I don't know. Maybe that's a little pit stop before she gets in.
But Luke does say, "Will I ever see you again?"
Yeah.
And she says, "Perhaps," or something like that. So like,
Yeah, she literally says perhaps. Yeah,
so
I'm
they're gonna
watching it
see each
right
other
now.
again. I'm pretty sure.
She
But
said, "May the force be with you."
Luke does ask her what he should do about Grogu, like how he should train him, and she's just like, "Trust your instincts," which, like, what does that even mean? Like, so whatever. But
And
yeah,
now we're
so
on Tatooine.
now we go back to
Finally.
Tatooine.
Oh.
We started out with Cobb Vanth on Tatooine, and now we're back. And so, Din flies into the palace, and he lands in the hangar and goes up with one of the guards. And so Fennec is there doing a whole breakdown with everyone. Like, this is, the crime syndicates, they're staying low right now, but the Pikes, they're growing in numbers. They got their own soldiers, and we need to plan how we're going to address this. And like, we have the muscle with Chrysanthemum and Mando, but we need soldiers. And so Mando's like, "Well, I think I can get you soldiers or to help." I was like,
It was interesting that she said that's the Mandalorian Din Djarin. Like, she like told his name, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
"Why?"
Because not really, no one knows his real name really.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, they call him Mando or Mandalorian. Like, they don't really call him Din Djarin.
I don't know. I didn't really notice. But
I thought it was just a little out of place. But
so at this point, I was like, "Who is
what
he
was your
going to
thought?
recruit?" I thought he was thinking maybe like he was going to contact Bo-Katan or something.
Me too. I was like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna get Boca in this episode too. Like, that's literally what I thought. We're gonna get like the other Mandalorians because he's no longer part of the Watch right now, so maybe he's just gonna join the other Mandos. Like, I don't know, but nope, that's not what he was thinking. Which the way he
Right.
was going actually makes more sense for the.
But this leads to probably the biggest question I have about this entire episode. How the heck did they get that
Thing on
skull
top.
on top of the Sandcrawler? The Crate Dragon skull. That thing is huge and weighs 1,000,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And those Jawas got it on top of that thing. How did they do that?
They're probably stronger than we think,
I don't know. But
but also they're hairy, so you
did you
never know.
Did you see that?
No. Wait.
You
shut
get
up.
their sleeves fall down and you see their hair.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! No.
They do.
Wait, hold up! I'm about to.
They show it. It's like a black fur. It's like they're a gorilla or a chimpanzee type hair or something like that. When they zooms in on them on top.
Whoa!
Yeah.
They literally have like gorilla hair.
Yeah. So that's crazy that they did that. They mentioned it last week that they're furry, and then they show it this week when they raise their hands
And it's
up.
like a hint, but dang, like, because even you see the other ones growing the ropes, and they all have like hair. Do they literally have monkey fingers?
Yeah. I think they're just gorilla guys.
I literally paused it, and I can see their fingers in their hand. Have we never seen their fingers before?
No, because it's always like their robes are always longer than their hands, and
in this scene, none of them are for some reason.
yeah.
What the heck? I did not. I literally paused it. If you're listening, you guys go check out go pause it at like 29 minutes and 22 seconds. You pause it there. They're holding ropes, and you can see their gorilla hand. It's hilarious.
But I thought it was crazy. But it's funny because they recognize the ship flying around. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the one we helped fix." Like they're like cheering, like we did a good job, like helping them. Like at least they take pride in like what they're doing. Like they're helping
it like
people.
makes you like Jawas a lot. This like whole show.
Yeah, but you still don't want to leave your stuff laying around though. They'll steal it.
That's fair.
But I just thought that was a funny scene.
I have the Jawa. It's what's it called? This Jawa right here that I have. It's a stuffed animal, but it's like a Build-A-Bear, and he's not hairy. Now I'm kind of pissed. They should have made him hairy.
Well, now you're gonna have to buy it. They're gonna introduce.
I'm gonna have to buy him the new one because he's gonna be hairy.
Right. So Yes. So he's goes. Mando, he's flying around and he's going. So I figured since he was flying around Tatooine,
Yeah.
okay, he's going to Cobb Vanth because we see him at the opening scene. All
Yep,
right,
me
fine,
too.
whatever. So
Didn't
he
get this
lands.
dummy.
This new deputy guy, he was like, "You can't park here." Blah blah blah. He's just a parking cop, basically. Like, go park over there. And so then Cobb Vanth's like, "All right, deputy, I'll take over from here." And so they kind of look at the starfighter and he's like, "Oh, that's a Naboo fighter." Blah blah blah. And there's kind of like admiring a nice car type thing scene. And it's like, man was like, "All right, can I buy you a drink?" And I'm like, I'm sure he gets free drinks whenever he wants. Like, he doesn't need to get bought a drink.
Yeah, and those.
But whatever.
I thought he was gonna take his helmet off because, like, what's the point now? He can take it off.
Well, he still wants to stay true to the creed the best
Yeah,
he can because
that's
he
fair.
wants to restore that.
I just
but
thought he was going to. I was like, is he just gonna take his helmet off? Because he said, "Let me buy you a drink." Like, I don't know, maybe, but he didn't. He stayed true to what he really wants to be, part of the Watch still.
right, so he kind of it's kind of like it picks up where after he explains situations and Cobb Vanth's like, I don't know, I want to get involved in this, like blah blah blah.
Which I like that I picked up there because I did not want to hear this whole conversation again. You
Right.
know, like it was good.
And Mando's like, we need this help, blah blah blah. And apparently the town's called Freetown now.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense because at the beginning of the episode he's like,
He literally calls it Mas
this is the Pelgo territory to
I wonder what
Pikes.
they're drinking.
Well, I don't know. What do you think they're drinking?
Well,
It was brown.
True. And you know what they should be drinking?
What should they be drinking?
Our ad, Wesley Andrews.
Wesley Andrews, okay. All right, well, let's hear a word from our sponsor, from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do
it.
Go check us out.
Yep. All right. So they're sitting down, having a drink. Mando's trying to get him, and he's like, Cobb is like, you know, you and I were even. Like, I don't owe you anything. And Mando's like, you're right. But he's like, I didn't think you were someone who would back down from bullies or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mando's like, it's very difficult to know how to ask for a favor.
Yep.
Like, because he knows he has no leverage. Like, I just need a favor. And so it's like, you could tell that Cobb was a little like on edge, like not wanting to get involved. There's a little tension there, but he's like, all right, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get you any help, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Mando leaves, and then when he leaves, Cobb is like, says to the bartender, because the bartender, he's already like, we don't want to help. Like, this is not our battle, blah, blah, blah. But Cobb says to the bartender, like, call everyone in for a town meeting. We're going to see if we can see what we're going to do. Like, maybe the people will be into it after I talk to them. So,
yeah, what's the exact lines he says?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
This is not our fight. And then he said, but it might be after they hear what I'm going to say.
Right, because I'm assuming most of the people don't know about what's going on.
Yeah, but he's
specifically.
already interacted with the Pikes.
Right.
And he
So
already
like he's gonna
did
tell them
stuff.
that there's spice being moved, and that the Pikes are involved. But this is my favorite part of the
This
whole
part, this
whole
was
episode.
amazing.
Like, see, I kind of wonder, like, if I didn't get semi-spoiled about Ahsoka, what my reaction would be of, like, not expecting her and then seeing her, but compared to this. But
See, okay, so I can tell you from my perspective, when I saw Ahsoka, I freaked out. But then when I saw this, I freaked out like just as much. And I'm still, for me, because we haven't seen him in live action, it's like bigger, you know?
right,
Like it's a bigger
because
thing.
like
Like
we were
we,
all like saying
we
like we could see him,
mm-hmm,
wanting to see him because like we were thinking, okay, he's gonna hire more bounty hunters. We're gonna see Dengar. We're gonna see Bosk, maybe Cad Bane. Like, so he was
yeah,
definitely someone we're thinking we were gonna see.
exactly.
But I didn't think it was gonna be like this. And this is the best way they could have ever introduced him into this show, because right when he looks out into the distance and we see the silhouette of the guy, so I immediately knew right away. Like,
I knew right away too.
this
I was
is
like, no way. I
before
grabbed
you
my
could even
pop. I freaked out.
before you could even see enough of his silhouette to like recognize any of his features. Like, you couldn't even see his cloak, you couldn't see his hat. But I was like, this is definitely Cad Bane.
Yep.
And they dragged that out a long time of him slowly coming in.
Like 30 seconds of him just walking.
And like he gets closer and closer, and then you finally get him close enough where you can see his cloak and his hat and blue skin, and I couldn't believe
And
it.
he tells everyone to leave. He said, "Let me handle this" to his guy. Like,
Right.
Like you knew this was like a big thing. And of course, this guy's so stupid. The whole time I'm like, okay, well, he's dead. We already know
The
this boy's
deputy.
about to. Yeah, I was like, this guy is so cocky, so dumb. Like he's about to die. We know this. The whole time, I'm like, well, at least the deputy's gonna die. That was like my thought.
Right. And so now the one thing is though, Cad Bane's skin is a lot bluer than he is in Clone Wars and in Bad Batch. So
He's lighter.
A lot lighter skin. This is like baby blue, sky blue type of blue.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
But I
so
wonder if it could just be he's a little sunburned. He's a little dry from that walk.
well, the thing is, if you really look, he's wrinkly. Like his skin is really wrinkled. So he's, last time we saw Cad Bane was in Bad Batch, and that was definitely,
a long time ago.
35 years ago or more.
Yeah.
So like he's an old guy now, but he's still.
Dude, his teeth are so well. He looks so scary.
Well, his whole image, like it's all CGI. Like I don't think there's anything practical about him. And it's because like obviously you can't do that kind of alien face and be articulate.
His lips and teeth were not CGI though.
No, it's all CGI.
No, I'm watching right now. There's no way. It looks real.
Oh yeah, it looks real, but it's definitely CGI.
I don't think this part of his face is CGI. I think once they show his eyes, it's CGI.
I don't think you can. His mouth is way too big to be a person's mouth. And with those teeth, like you can't fake those teeth. Like,
well, if it's CGI, I'm amazed because it's amazing.
They definitely have photorealistic CGI like reconstructions like you can definitely hide CGI better with something that's not a human face.
Yeah.
So like they went all out with making his face and all this stuff, and then they get the same voice actor to do his voice from Clone Wars and Bad Batch, and this whole time I'm just freaking out because
I'm freaking out, dude.
The more you see Cad Bane, the more you like him, and this is like his best rendition ever.
Best thing ever, dude.
And
straight out,
I was so scared for Cobb Vanth this whole time.
Yeah.
Because we just saw last summer during Bad Batch him take out Hunter in a duel, same exact duel, and I was like, Cad Bane's the best at this. Now, I think the only person that could take out Cad Bane is maybe Mando.
Yeah. Or Boba.
Boba, nah.
Hey. Don't count him out. They're the same age. Maybe it's because he's a little older now. No, a little slow.
I don't know.
And in Cad Bane's defense, he had to kill the other stupid guy first. So
that guy was stupid. He's like, you can't buy Cobb Vanth. Like, that guy was stupid. And then,
we were like his character. We wanted him to die. Like that was our goal with his character.
right? And then it's just like, why are you distracting a guy like your guy in a duel? And like you could tell Cobb Vanth is like, like when he comes out and he's like, you can't buy.
His eyes at him.
He's like, so like the look that the actor had, so Timothy Oliphant, something or something. Yeah. But like his expression when he yells out for the first time was like the best.
Yeah, he was good. He like rolled his eyes essentially at him. It was so good.
And so,
oh no, we got whatever Fett is paying you, we'll match it.
Right, which is stupid. Like if you're just the same amount, why would you change? Oh, like you say, we'll double it. Like
because of his next line though,
which was,
well, you said, and you'll get to do it. It's stay put. Like you'll get to stay put. Like so you don't
have to fight.
Yeah.
So it's free money just to sit there and not. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So.
And then his lineup before that about Boba Fett and how was that before or after?
Well, he has. So that brings up a good point interesting point about Cad Bane is that he is mad at Boba Fett for working with the Empire. So Cad Bane is very anti-Empire, and so when we see him in Bad Batch, he is working for the Kaminoans, hired by the Kaminoans to get Omega. And so he does have an anti-Empire thing. So like he's more mad at Boba for working with the Empire than anything. And so he wants to get back at Boba. And so there's all this tension.
Dude, he's scary, dude. Like in the show, he's never came across like a scary guy to me. He comes across as like a cowboy character, like
he's always been scary to me. Like this, obviously, this is the scariest he's ever been.
I've never been like I've been intimidated by him because I know that he's good at like shooting. Like he's a good Western dude. Like he's good at slinging, But I've never been like scared because of his like image. But they did it so well in this show that I'm like terrified of this dude. His teeth, the way like they betrayed his face features and stuff. Like he is a scary guy. Like they did so well. I'm like, okay, obviously this is Dave Filoni's episode. # give it to Dave. Like, yeah, it was so good, dude.
But so then the deputy starts to get more distracting, and Cobb Vanth is getting distracted by him, and so when to a point Cobb looks over, that's when Cad shoots Cobb in his shoulder. So I don't think he's dead.
No, he's not dead.
And then he turns and shoots the deputy like 6 times, and he's dead. And
I love the line though. Like he said, Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer who worked with the Empire. Like you said, he's mad at Boba Fett for being part of the Empire. Like he does not like Boba Fett, and their relationship is gonna be like it's gonna be intense. Like next week is gonna be crazy.
Right. So the town members go to help Cobb Vanth because he's one of them. If you read the subtitles, it's like get a stim, like blah blah blah. Like so, they definitely know that he's still alive.
Yeah.
But
They said like
Cad
bring him
Bane-
inside and stuff like that.
Cad Bane says that he's leaving. Basically, just something he said earlier, which I thought was funny, was like, "Don't stick your nose in things or whatever." But like, he doesn't have a nose himself.
Yeah.
He has like these cool lines all the time to see things that are so like there's that. But when he's leaving, he's like, as long as the spice keeps moving, you guys will be left alone.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a really great scene. And so after this, was it after this or before this? I think I don't know if I got my things, but they go back to the cantina from Mas Espa with the
It was
after with Garza Fwip there and everyone, and so some two Pikes show up and they go bring in a ice cream pail and sit down and leave without the ice cream pail, and it explodes and everyone there's killed. Well, we didn't see any bodies, so
we don't know, but we were kind of. They
but-
definitely bombed Boba Fett's place, essentially.
but I really liked how when the droid was like, "You forgot your thing," Garza shows to her, and her eyes widen like because she knows what's about to happen.
Yeah. Did you know what was gonna happen?
Well, when the droid had the pail, like, you forgot your pail, that's what I realized was going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's something that was funny that someone else said that I was watching on YouTube. So the Max Rebo, the elephant guy,
he's not there.
So like he survives the barge thing from episode 6, and so now he's back in the show, but he wasn't in the band, so he survives this too.
Yep.
This is funny.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if you watch it, he's not in this scene, and I think they did that on purpose to show us, like, don't worry, he's still alive. Like, he's not dead. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. So then the final scene is
we don't see the bodies, but that explosion is huge. So
right.
I don't know.
But the final scene is back with Luke and Grogu, and the stone hut is finished, and so Luke takes out the Beskar chainmail thing and shows it to Grogu and lays it down, and he's like, "I'll give you a choice." And I saw the box. I'm like, there's definitely a lightsaber in there. And he pulls
Either
out
that or spice.
Oh gosh. We're getting high tonight, Grogu.
He's like, one or the other. What do you want?
You thought licking frogs was fun. Well, let me show you this. But so he pulls out a lightsaber.
It's like freaking Mithril from Lord of the Rings. It's like all these hidden Lord of the Rings stuff. I thought it was funny.
But pulled out the lightsaber. So there's debate on this lightsaber.
Yeah.
Because I guess in canon, because if you watch Revenge of the Sith, when Yoda falls, he loses his saber and doesn't have it when he escapes with Senator Organa. So the lightsaber there is, but then Luke says that he had this lightsaber on Tatooine, or there's canon that Yoda has a lightsaber on Dagobah, in his hut. And so this is actually...
People are saying it's a different one.
Yeah, so this one that Luke shows him is one that Yoda built on Dagobah.
Yeah.
And it's not the one from the prequels.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So, I wonder if is there a hilt difference?
There is. Apparently the other one is darker. That's what the chat was saying earlier.
Okay. So then Luke is like, you have a choice. You can choose the Beskar and you can be reunited with your Mandalorian friend, or you can take the lightsaber and become a Jedi and forget all attachments and all that stuff. And so it stops. It ends with Grogu just
Which
staring.
one do you choose? And then
I think he's
what's your thoughts?
I think there's more evidence that he's picks the best car.
Yep.
That's what you agree?
I think he picks the best car. I
But
also
but
what?
I don't want that to be. I don't want Grogu in Mando season 3. I don't want it. I've talked
Sorry.
about this. Like I'm
I
done
know,
with the
but
gimmick, and so like,
I'm sorry, Jeremiah. We're getting him.
oh gosh.
Just how we got him in this episode, and you didn't think that was gonna happen.
But it's
We're
like
getting him.
the thing is, like, we don't see him with Luke in the Jedi Temple when it's destroyed by Kylo. Like,
Exactly.
unless at that time Grogu is trained enough to
no,
go off on his own or something. But like,
he's picking the armor, dude.
but like, but we've already had mention of Tar Vizsla, who was a Mandalorian and Jedi, and so maybe Grogu's gonna just force pull them both to him and say,
Ooh, that'd be cool. I choose both.
but I don't know.
I don't know
Like,
if that would work. Okay, so my thoughts is he picks armor. How is he gonna get back to Din Djarin? Luke's gonna bring him back, and then this giant battle is happening on Luke's home planet, and Luke is gonna beat some butt and help them.
but the thing is, Luke isn't supposed to have attachment. So like,
that's fair, but
him stepping into that fight would be him contradicting the Jedi way. Because
he's also helping the planet of Tatooine. It's bigger than that. It's not that he has attachment necessarily to Tatooine.
But would he allow? But he would. Yes, a Jedi who wasn't attached to Tatooine could step in, but Luke, I think, is going to recognize that he can't step in because his motivation is attachment.
But you think he's gonna be on Tatooine? Are we gonna see Luke on Tatooine again? That's my question.
I don't know.
Come on, I
don't know. Like, because that choice was for Grogu's choice. Like, we don't know if he makes it right away, and like, I think if Grogu chooses the best car, and Luke goes to return him to Tatooine with Din Djarin, like, I think there's going to be that struggle that Luke is going to see where he doesn't know what he should do because of his attachment. And so that's going to alter his thing with Grogu. Like, maybe you can do both.
Yeah.
But like,
that'd be cool.
But then it's the finale of the show, and I don't want that to be overtake the actual conflict itself. I don't want the Luke Grogu issue to overtake the finale.
I get that. I'm over this. I after 2 weeks of this a row.
I know. I get it.
It's
Like,
it's not about Boba Fett anymore. Like, it's not. It's about
like,
Tatooine and what's better for the planet, and Luke's gonna help make that decision, and that's what we're gonna get. I also think we're gonna get some teaser at the end of this show as well. That's either gonna
there's gonna be a post-credit scene for sure.
Yeah, it's either gonna be a Ahsoka post-credit scene or a show that we don't know about. Maybe a Luke show that we don't know about, which would be really crazy. I don't know. What if they announce like a Luke show and it's like him training?
I don't know, like, because the question is, so a post-credit scene would have to be for stuff moving forward. Like, it's not going to be a Cassian Andor commercial, or a Kenobi commercial or something. But like,
so in our chats, whose book is it again?
It's not the book of Boba Fett, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's so many things.
I think next week we're gonna get a dope fight scene that's gonna be amazing, and we're gonna get Cad Bane or Cad Bane and Cad Bane and Boba Fett interaction. They're gonna maybe mention that scene. I don't think we're gonna get a flashback unless we have like an hour episode or something. Like, I don't think we're gonna have enough time for all that. And then we're gonna have Luke showing up there with the Grogu, and Luke's gonna kick butt to save his own planet from the spice, and it's gonna be dope. And we're most likely gonna cry at some point, and then we're gonna get this sick Flash thing about the Ahsoka show. That's my thought. Like, what if you see Thrawn, dude? Okay, I'm saying it right now. We're gonna get a flashback, and we're gonna see Thrawn. We're gonna see a glimpse of Thrawn.
Live action Thrawn.
Yep.
I told you at the beginning of the season, like, we're gonna see Thrawn in this, or a reference or something. But
I think we will, and that's why we saw Ahsoka.
And I also said Omega too.
Oh, that's true.
What if
I also said Cad Bane, and we got that, so I'm pretty happy.
What if Omega is the head of the Pikes?
Oh, shut up! That would.
Well, the theory is, the main theory is Kira is going to show up.
Yeah.
Okay, that she's the head of the Pikes.
There's too much
going
on.
Why not?
I don't know. Not that I don't care. Okay, that's aggressive. I mean, we could be getting, now that you say Kira, we could be getting like a Kira reference, and then we get like a Kira show announcement, something like that.
A book of Kira.
Something. I don't know. Like, it's not that I don't care about her, but there's so much going on already right now that is not my priority.
I'm just saying,
about her.
If we get Kira, we're gonna get flashbacks of her being trained by Maul. That's all I'm saying. And I'm fine with that.
Me too. I'm okay with that. I really just want a show about Maul being alive and that stuff. I'd rather that than a Kira show, but
I don't know.
I'm just really happy we saw Cad Bane this episode.
I just don't know how the series is gonna end, because it's a big climax to a big battle, but like, I don't know how the story is going to have to be open-ended. Like, it's not going to be finished. Like, I don't know if that means there's going to be a second season, or if it's just the storyline is going to continue in other shows. So,
that's
like,
I don't know. I don't. If it doesn't continue in other shows, we're getting a season 2.
Right.
So, I don't know if I want to. Okay, it's so weird, dude. This show has been so weird, like, straight up.
Do you think it's going to be a long episode, or do you think it's going to be a short episode?
It needs to be a hell long episode.
Do you think it'll be over an hour?
It better be.
I hope it's over an hour.
How long was the the Mando season 2 episode?
That was only like
the last episode?
37 minutes or something.
Really? Shut up. Nah. The last episode?
Or you talking about Mando finale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was only like 37 minutes or something. Like,
dumb.
It was short.
Let me see.
But
right now.
I don't know. I want an hour-long episode.
No, it was 47 minutes.
Oh.
But I mean, in that show though, like, we literally had an episode that was 35 minutes. Like,
right.
But episode 1 was 55 minutes. We've had longer episodes in this show than we have in like all of, like, combined length has been longer than like all of the Mandalorians. Like, we've had multiple almost hour episodes.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I really hope next week's episode is at least 55 minutes. I don't know. It's kind of this show's so weird because the beginning was so slow, choppy. It didn't feel like the show, like, it didn't really, besides episode 2, like, the other episodes didn't really feel like the same show. And then last week and this week feel like we're watching Mandalorian. Like, it flows really well. It's so clean. It's so good. And like, I'm saying right now, this is my favorite Star Wars that Disney has done for show-wise, including Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff. And I'm sorry, Jeremiah, you don't agree. I love this episode, but I know next week it's going to blow this one out of the water. And if it does, I'm going to be pissed off. Do
you think we're going to get any Tusken Raiders return next week?
I think we're going to get that girl next week. That's not dead.
The warrior chick?
Yep.
I hope so.
Or she, yeah. Hey, but you know what? going into the show, I never thought we were gonna get any more detail about Jawas and that they're hairy.
Well, we learned that they were furry. Then we see their arms.
We see them. What if we see?
We're gonna see them without a robe on or something.
Well, I don't. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm saying, what if we see a Tuxton Raider? What if she takes off her helmet, her
No,
face
that's not
mask?
gonna happen.
What if she's Kira the whole time?
Oh, stop!
I'm just kidding. That's like,
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
But what
Dude,
if though?
okay,
That
how
would
about
be
this?
crazy,
Here's the thing.
dude. That would be.
If the warrior Tuscan lady is Kira in disguise next week, I will quit watching Star Wars for the rest of my life.
Don't say that, because
Empire Radio will be over. I'm done watching Star Wars movies for. I forget Ahsoka. Forget
Don't say that.
Obi-Wan.
I could have just predicted the biggest thing in the like.
You heard it here first, folks.
And you can't quit if I called it, because that would have been crazy. Don't say that. People are saying already in the chat. Don't say that, because I could have just called something.
Well, what if Darth Jar Jar shows up?
Now, that would be, for what reason? That doesn't even. That wouldn't flow. That would just screw everything up.
Well, look how this season's going now. It's the book of
Dude,
Boba Fett for a few
Wait,
episodes.
what if it's what's her name? Omega.
No. If it was Omega, I'd be more happy if it was Omega than if it was Kira in disguise.
I'm just saying it's Kira. It could be Kira. Just I don't think it is. But I'm just saying I just said that because her fighting style, like she's really good at fighting, like Kira. You know, I don't know.
Right.
That's all I said. I don't actually believe that's happening. But if I called it, everybody better send
No,
this video
you
to
have to
every Star Wars person ever.
You have to have an official. If you have to believe it's going to happen, if it's an actual call, like you can't just say you can't take credit for it if you say you don't actually believe it. So if you're right and you don't claim it right now, it doesn't count.
Okay, I think it's Omega. I'm going to claim that. I believe that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know what I do believe in though?
What's that?
Voicemails.
All right, let's transition to our favorite time of the show.
Every episode. Captain Red shows up. Okay.
That's
Chill.
dude. Oh dang! Why wasn't Rex with Ahsoka in this episode? Dang it!
Oh,
Dang it! He was staying with the ship. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, he was. What if they showed her walking up to her ship and he was on there? Would you have cried?
I would have freaked out. Yeah. He's like, Commander Tano, come back. I got even if it was just on a comm, like
stop.
the comm, Ahsoka, ship's ready. Like that would have been it. I would have been done. All right, voicemail. So this morning there was no voicemails.
I was worried about that.
And I posted in Discord. I've done this like 2 or 3 times now. Like, hey, we don't have any voicemails, and our good and faithful servant Will sent in, and he's carrying it. Like, come on, guys. So he knows that he's carrying it, and I said in the Discord, come on, guys. Will can't be the only one sending in Discord. So here's a message. He sent in 2, but here's a message to everyone from Will I Am from the Discord.
Hey, Empire Radio. I got interrupted, if you will say, for lack of a better word that I can think of right now, from shiny hunting a Psyduck in Pokemon Legends Arceus to a message from Jeremiah saying, basically, I can't be the only one sending in the voicemails. Yes, I know. Yeah. Shocker, huh? But anyways, y'all send in voicemails. Come on now. Like, I know the times have been changing. You might not be able to send voicemails at the times you send them usually, but just take like 1 minute out of your day to do it. Please.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Just do it.
and
People in
gals.
the chat are like already like saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it, and I couldn't think of a question." We don't need excuses.
You don't need it. Just say, hey,
Just say
I
hello
love the
there.
show. Like, hello there. And we'll say General Kenobi, and we'll have a laugh, and then
That was
we'll
fun.
be done.
We don't need a question. We just
But-
want to hear your guys' voice. We love interacting with our community here over at Empire Radio. We love the fleet. We love our fleet. So we just want to make sure our fleet's still out there. So,
And look, I see how many views, listens we get on all of our episodes every week. And I know that Will is not the only one listening. So, come on.
yeah.
So, this is my challenge.
Ooh, here we go.
So next week, we already know it's going to probably be a really long episode for the finale. But I still want a bunch of voicemails. So my challenge is I want 5 new people who have never sent in a voicemail to send in a voicemail.
And
I want
you
5.
know what? I was actually mentioning it before I went. Like, I was doing my live stream for the watch party, and I was like, "Hey, chat, if you guys," I didn't know if we got any voicemails, so I'm like, "Send in voicemails, you guys, if you haven't." I was like, "Daddy Palpatine, looking at you," and Daddy Palp said he's never sent in a voicemail before.
He hasn't?
Apparently not. He said that he's never have, but I think we've interacted with him.
No, he sent in voicemails.
Well,
No,
he said he didn't. Has he?
I think he has.
I thought he did too. Well,
either way,
send in one, Daddy Palps. I'm calling you out right now. You're hearing this right now. I'm calling you out. Also, anyone else in the chat that hasn't sent one, just say we don't need. Someone said a Darth Jar Jar impression. We don't need that.
we could. It would still count as a voicemail.
That's true. Would that count as a Will if Will did an impression, but not as Will as Jar Jar? Does that count as a new person?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, sorry.
Will and Darth Jar Jar are one and the same. So,
you heard it here, folks.
But yeah. So look, we want voicemails. Like, we enjoy it, and we need Will to take a week off. Like, he needs a break. Like, he puts in a lot of work for us on the Discord and stuff. So I want some new people to send in voicemails, and not just next week. Every week, we want new people. Every week, we want fun stuff, fun questions. I'm sure some of you are new. Like, we just got last couple of weeks on Discord some new listeners to the podcast, and so you send in a voicemail. Like, we want voicemails. So it's our favorite part, and we want that streak going a lot to keep going and be alive every week. We still haven't missed one, and we're coming up on our 1 year.
I was gonna say, it's been a year. Yeah, it's been really close.
I think we're just a couple weeks away. So
but either way, next week we know it's gonna be hyped. You guys can send in your voicemails literally like as soon as you watch it. Just send them in that day. Jeremiah will throw them on. Yeah, we'll do it. Just make sure it's before 5 p.m. Eastern time, right?
It all depends on when we start. So, like, do you know your work schedule next week?
It's gonna be the same this week. It's crazy busy, but
right. So, yeah, 6 o'clock. Say 6 o'clock Eastern time, which is 5 o'clock Central time.
Yes.
But it all depends on when Drew is able to do the watch party and get started. Yes. So just send them in now. Like, you have a week anyway, so just send them in now.
Yeah. But if you can't think of anything, you can always just send us what your overall thoughts were of this whole show.
Give us a question. Like, what do you think about this from the episode? Or give your theory, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of theories about the future of the show. Yeah. So give us your theory.
True.
But that being said, let's have the final voicemail.
One more voicemail
from Will from the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Here's a question for us. And Drew, I've heard a question, and it's going to be an emotional question for you. So.
Oh goodness. Okay, here we go.
Hello again, Empire Radio. Now time for my actual question. This relates to the sports one I also asked.
Oh gosh, here we go.
What are your favorite sports teams? If you can give me 3 to make it simple. My 3 are the Boston Celtics. I've been a fan of them ever since my dad got me to watch all the games that I could. For baseball, it's the Atlanta Braves. I actually had the opportunity of going to see Chipper before he retired.
Chipper
Ooh,
Jones.
R.I.P.
And lastly, the Carolina Hurricanes for hockey.
Carolina.
Sebastian Aho is my favorite.
All right. Favorite sports teams. Drew, I know it's been a rough couple days for you, but
All right, so I have two favorite football teams. One, the Vikings, obviously, because that's where I live in Minnesota. So, and then my home team from where I was born, I've always been a fan of the Chiefs, Casey, and yeah, last week we choked.
R.I.P. Lost in the playoffs.
We choked. But you know what? Everyone okay, so that day after I was, of course, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I'm not even gonna say it. Y'all have to figure out how to find my Instagram. I don't want to plug myself because that's kind of weird. But I don't know. I like, and you'll find it. Just ask around. You'll figure it out. But but then yeah. So then yeah, I was wearing all my KC stuff, and I went to the MOA like right after they lost.
That's Mall of America for those of you who don't know.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the Mall of America, and everyone, like was walking by me like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude," and I'm like, "Okay, why did I change? I should just not wore my jersey and my hat." Like, I was. And Stephanie's like, "I told you shouldn't have changed," because like literally, like a kid had a KC hat on, and we live like we're not close to Kansas City. Like it's like what,
Like 6-hour drive or
6
something like that.
hours? I mean, it's kind of close, but not really. But a little 5-year-old kid, was wearing a Casey hat and came up to me and was like, "This sucks," and I was like, "What the heck is?" I don't live in Kansas. Like, I understand if I lived in Kansas, that would be one thing. But yeah, so it was like an emotional weekend for me.
What'd you
So
say to the kid?
I was like, "Yeah, but we can't go to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. We got to take a year off." And he was like, "Yeah, that's true." And then he just walked away to his dad. Like he was like with his parents, and then like left his parents to come talk to me about the game, and then went back to his parents. And my wife was like, "Oh, that was so cute," and I was like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool." And but yeah, so and then
A third team.
third team, probably just say the Wild, Minnesota Wild. Because
Hockey.
we're gonna win the Stanley Cup this year. So
Are
sorry.
we actually doing good this year?
Sorry, Will. Sorry, Will. We're gonna win. Yes, we're like in the top like 5 right now. We're gonna win the Stanley Cup. We have some of the best players right now.
All right, you heard it here first, folks.
Sorry, Will, for disappointing you with your whatever.
Well, for me, I don't really watch sports anymore. I used to be the biggest Minnesota Twins fan. I used to watch every single game.
Joe Mauer.
He was overrated.
Definitely. But he's from Minnesota, so
He was the worst choice ever.
oh wow, that's so aggressive.
I am very anti Joe Mauer. Sorry. If you want to sponsor us, Joe Mauer, go right ahead. Like, give us a shout out. Like, but you didn't perform as well as you got paid. But so I was the biggest Twins fan. I knew every single player, all the stats, and all that stuff. But
dang, all right.
I used to know that about like every team. Like I would watch almost every single Twins game, and then I would watch SportsCenter and Baseball Tonight every day.
You're a huge baseball fan.
I was a huge baseball fan
in high school, right?
High school and in college.
Oh wow.
And then after college,
Star Wars took over your life, and
kind of. But so I haven't really watched sports, but I root for the Vikings because they're the hometown team. But I wouldn't say I'm a fan. And then,
but if we won the Super Bowl, you'd be excited because
I'd be rooting for them.
We have never done that,
but I don't have to worry about that happening anytime soon. So
damn. Well, you know.
And then I don't have any other else because I don't care. So
you don't like the Wild? You don't care for the Wild?
No, like I just said, I didn't even know that they were doing good. Like doing well. So
you did say that.
But
yes.
Who do you got in the Super Bowl? Who's winning?
I want the Bengals to win, but I think LA is going to pull it out because it is a home game, and home field advantage on a Super Bowl is like a big deal.
Who's favored?
I'm pretty sure LA is because of that situation. Honestly, I just like Bengals. I want Bengals to win because one, I want KC to lose to the winning Super Bowl team, because then at least we lost against the best team.
See, I never get that. I always think like the team that kicks you out should be the one. Like, screw them. Like, I want them to
No,
lose.
I don't see it like that, because I also don't like the Rams. Like, that's like, I've never really liked the Rams. And Matthew Stafford is their quarterback, which he's been like the worst Lions quarterback forever, and then he got traded, and now he's actually good. So
Was he a bad quarterback, or did he just have a crappy team around him?
I think the Lions' whole thing needs to be redone, but because the Lions are trash, and they still are trash. But also, I do have some love for Louisiana, and the quarterback that plays for the Bengals played at LSU, so I kind of gotta lean that way a little bit. So he's really good, but I don't think they're gonna win. I think.
All right. I watched the Super Bowl just for the commercials, so
Which you can find on YouTube. So,
well, that is true, but
yeah,
it's still fun watching him with.
I don't know what I'm doing for the Super Bowl this year.
I don't either. Maybe my church will have a party or something.
Did last year we watched the Super Bowl together, or was that the year before?
That was the year before.
Yes, it was.
Last year I had some neighbors over at my house.
Oh,
yes.
Yes.
Apartment.
Because the year before we watched it, and KC won, and that was amazing, and I was freaking out. Remember that?
I remember being there, and that's all I remember. All right, but anyway, social media stuff, and then we'll be done. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, but go to links.cc or co. I can never remember. Co. Link spelled with 2 I's / Empire Radio. There you will get all of our stuff for everything.
Yes.
So you'll find Twitch, you'll find YouTube, you'll find links to. Well, if you're listening to this, you're already listening to the podcast, but there's links to the podcast links on there. Yes. You can send if you look, we talk about sending a voicemail. You can just click a link right in there, and it'll bring you right to the voicemail page. And also the needlesslynerdy.com. We're part of the Needlessly Nerdy Podcast Network, so check them out. And also watch out for the post for the Star Wars Podcast Day we'll have on Instagram as well. So
yes, and go check their Instagram out as well. Star Wars Pod Day on Instagram. But like we said before, if you haven't go follow us on Instagram, for sure go do that. And also YouTube, like, we get a lot more views than subscribers, and I don't know what y'all doing, but we all know you want to go see my freaking raw reactions and Jeremiah's cooking. So go over to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button and give a video a thumbs up and comment down below and say, hey, you told me to be here and now I'm here. That's all we want. So go do that.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, wait, we didn't rank the episode.
I said at the beginning, I gave it 10 frogs out of 10 frogs.
Okay. I give it 17 frogs out of 10 frogs.
Ooh, 17 frogs out of 10.
The most I've ever given anything. That's pretty aggressive. I'm going to say 11 frogs. 17 is a lot. Next week's going to blow it out of the water, I hope. So, do we know the director next week?
No, I don't. I didn't even look it up.
Okay.
I might say, but but yeah. So next week will be our last Wednesday episode.
True.
And then we'll go back to Tuesdays.
Yes.
So our normal Tuesday schedule. So plan for that for just live streams on Tuesday nights. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. So you have been listening to another Wizard episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.